The Safeguard American Voter Eligibility or SAVE Act, reintroduced by Representative Chip Roy, aims to tighten voter registration procedures. The act mandates in-person proof of citizenship documentation for voter registration. Critics argue it creates unnecessary obstacles, impacting marginalized communities. Proponents claim it safeguards the electoral process. However, instances of voter fraud are exceedingly rare. The SAVE Act poses a unique challenge for a significant demographic: married women who have changed their names. An estimated 69 million women in the U.S. have adopted their spouse's surname, leading to a discrepancy between the name on their voter registration and their birth certificate. This mismatch presents a substantial hurdle under the SAVE Act's strict documentation requirements. For these women, registering to vote could necessitate obtaining a new driver's license or state ID reflecting their married name. This process often requires presenting a birth certificate and marriage license as proof of the name change. The added steps and potential fees associated with updating these documents create an undue burden on eligible voters. Moreover, many women retain their birth certificates in their maiden name, potentially leading to confusion and delays at the polls. Election officials, unfamiliar with the nuances of name changes, might mistakenly flag these women as ineligible, further disenfranchising them. The SAVE Act's impact on married women highlights a broader issue: the law's failure to account for common life events that can create discrepancies in documentation. This oversight disproportionately affects women who are more likely to change their names after marriage. Claims of rampant voter fraud, particularly by non-citizens, often fuel the push for stricter voter ID laws. However, these claims are largely unfounded. Robust safeguards are already in place to prevent non-citizen voting. Existing measures effectively deter and detect any attempts. When registering to vote, individuals must provide their social security number. Election officials then cross-check this information against federal databases. This process acts as a significant deterrent to non-citizens. Many states already have voter ID laws in place. The incidence of non-citizen voting is exceedingly rare. A 2024 audit in Georgia found only 20 instances of attempted non-citizen voting out of 8.4 million registered voters. This minuscule figure underscores the effectiveness of current safeguards. Despite these measures, the SAVE Act perpetuates a narrative of widespread voter fraud. This narrative disproportionately targets and disenfranchises communities of color. The SAVE Act, despite its seemingly benign name, poses a significant threat to the very fabric of American democracy. By erecting unnecessary barriers to voter registration, the act risks disenfranchising millions of eligible citizens, particularly those who face systemic obstacles to exercising their right to vote. The act's impact extends beyond individual voters. It places a heavy burden on election workers, who are tasked with navigating complex documentation requirements and enforcing strict penalties for non-compliance. The threat of a 5-year prison sentence for mistakenly registering an ineligible voter creates a chilling effect, potentially discouraging individuals from assisting with voter registration efforts. The SAVE Act's potential to suppress voter turnout raises serious concerns about its true intent. Critics argue that the act is less about preventing voter fraud, which is already exceedingly rare, and more about consolidating political power by making it harder for certain demographics to vote. This undermines the fundamental principle of equal representation, a cornerstone of a healthy democracy. Instead of enacting laws that create obstacles to voting, lawmakers should focus on policies that expand access to the ballot box. This includes automatic voter registration, same-day registration, and early voting. By making it easier, not harder, for citizens to vote, we can strengthen our democracy and ensure that every voice is heard.